Welcome to the Wander Learn podcast. This is Francis Tapon with Radar. He is a black lab mix. For those of you who are listening, you're missing out on a beautiful black lab. One of the things that people want to transform their life through travel, they tell me, once again, it's the common excuse, I don't have any money. Now, when I was traveling 5.5 years in Africa, a lot of Africans say, wow, I'd love to travel like you do. And these guys actually legitimately didn't have any money. Unlike a lot of Americans and Europeans who claim they don't have much money, they actually do, but they just don't spend their money correctly, which is what I talked about in the second episode. In this case, the Africans really did not have any money. If you look at their life savings, their total net worth, it maybe was $10. So how can you solve that problem? Well, one of the things I noticed in my travels, and for example, I'm living right now near San Mateo, California, and I was walking around through the streets of San Mateo, and I asked this guy, do you know where a Kinko's Copy store is? And he said, like, no, I don't know. And the funny thing is that he was sitting right underneath the sign. That's right. He was right underneath the sign, and he didn't even know that. And the point of that story is that a lot of people go through life completely oblivious to their surroundings. They only pay attention when they're in Paris or Rome. And I'm trying to encourage people to travel inside their communities. And a lot of people who claim that they don't have the time or the money, well then, and you still want to travel, if you're truly passionate about it, start with your own block. Start with just getting to know your own neighborhood. You don't even need a car or a bicycle. You just need 2 feet. If you don't have 2 feet, then take your wheelchair and go around. The point is that you can explore just your neighborhood environment. A lot of people, when I'm out, let's say, walking a dog, and I ask them about where a certain street is, they don't know, even though they're living in that neighborhood. There's another interesting story of a guy who kind of thru-hiked Manhattan. What does that mean? He walked up and down every single street in Manhattan, systematically going through every single street in Manhattan. It took him several days, I guess, but he did it. And along the way, you try to pay attention, not just walking the streets, but look around. Look at the stores. Try to remember the street names. Examine the neighborhood with the same passion that you might have in examining Barcelona, the same passion that you might have when you're going through London or some other foreign city, let's say like Tokyo. So that's my simple tip to you, is if you have a desire to travel and you're either short on time or money, or at least you think you're short on time and money, I encourage you to start with your own neighborhood. Don't take the car, just walk around. And then once you've mastered your neighborhood, go in kind of circles, bigger and bigger circles around your county, and then around your state that you live in. And then if you have a car or any other type of means, or hitchhike, and start exploring other states around you. And slowly but surely, you start to really get to know. And it doesn't cost much money because everything is so close to you. Oftentimes you can head back home and not have to spend any money on hotels, or in that case, you could spend money on hotels, or do camping. And that, I think, is probably the best tip I can give you this week in learning how to travel cheaply and appreciate the environment that you already live in, that some people might travel thousands of miles just to see your neighborhood, get to know it, enjoy it, go to the museums, check out some of the restaurants, the farmers markets, or whatever you have, and the streets that you think have nothing interesting, go check them out. And the last thing is, talk to the locals, talk to the people, because part of traveling to me is getting to know the people themselves. So it's not just about the sights, the sounds, and looking at things and the buildings. Actually go to a city that has a different ethnographic makeup than what you're used to, and hang out and talk. And you'll be surprised by how often people are happy to talk to you and get to know you. And who knows, you might make a new friend, but at least you'll get a better sense of like, oh wow, I always thought a bunch of criminals lived over in that neighborhood, and I found out that it's not so bad. So that's what I hope to encourage you. Last thing, go check out my Patreon, patreon.com/ftapon. Subscribe to WanderLearn at wanderlearn.com, or the YouTube channel. Thank you again. This is Francis Tapon, encouraging you to wander and learn.